Hey,
Hey, how are you guys?
Welcome.
Welcome to Club Friday. Glad to have you with us.
I know I'm going to probably get in trouble for using that music because it's not mine and I don't own the rights, but I love to get the music going because that's what we do in Club Friday, right? Want to get you guys changing your physiology, getting you excited. My name is Taylor Thompson.
And I'm Larry Thompson. I'm the little L. This is a big T here for the LT Wealth Building Academy. And glad to have you guys with us. We go clubbing every single Friday.
So,
and Club Friday is brought to everybody by the LT Wealth Building Academy. That's the academy we have where we share especially the business platform for what's happening in the world today with the gig economy and the growing gig economy to about, there's just hundreds of millions of people out there today and this environment, this new workforce environment. And so we're glad to have you here. This we do every Friday. And then next week, we're going to have the deep dives. That's another part of us. And for those of you, you can see it streaming at the bottom of the page, themillionairetraining.com. That is another free resource that you have that you can go take a look at. And it's all previews to get you to see the big picture, which is the academy.
So as you're coming on, please say hello. We want to say hi. So welcome. Hello, Megan. Hello, let's see, and Nad, is that right? Is that Nad? Okay, so welcome, India. Glad you're here. Hello, Ireland. Glad you're here. And I know that we got Ray here, and I know that he's from Ireland but lives in UK. So I know that about Ray. And we've got the Netherlands. Hello.
All right.
Glad
to have you here.
Let's go. Who else we have? Oh. And we can't forget good old USA, right? Hello,
RJ. Glad to see you, man.
Glad you're here. So, guys, if this is your first time on, make sure that you drop a 1. If this is your first time on Club Friday, we definitely want to say hello to you. We're going live on many different platforms. And so we want to say hi. And if this is you, I want to make sure, hey, we got somebody here from Germany. Hello and welcome. But if you haven't given StreamYard permission to say your name, this is what we see. So make sure you click that link up there and it allows us to see you. Hello, New Zealand. Glad you're on. Hello, Nude. Hello, Netherlands. Woo-woo. Big shout out there. And we've got,
You see what I got to put up with all of this energy level. How do I deal with it?
Sweden. Hello, Sweden's in the house. Guys, we've got flags all over the world right now. So this is what we do. We love Club Friday. It's a way for us to connect with people across the globe and really talk about some of the things that we hold near and dear, which is really, guys, here's the thing. We just launched this literally a year ago last week.
That's correct.
1 year ago last week, we launched the Millionaire Training. And we started our book club. We're almost celebrating a year into the book club. And it's been so transformational with so many different people, getting these concepts, and I don't like to say, sometimes it may sound, sacrilegious, but I will say if you are an entrepreneur, right? If you are in network marketing, you can't afford not to have this book in your library. You can't afford not to have it, not just as a book, but as a resource.
Yeah. It's not a book. It's a career manual.
It is definitely a manual. It is definitely something that you want to have at your fingertips at any given moment. But today I wanted to talk about, because we put in the chat, problem solving. How are you solving your problems? So every Friday we kind of pull an excerpt out of the book. We pull something from the book, because here's the thing, whether you're in business for yourself or not, The truth of the matter is these are concepts that you can apply in your life. And so your children, your family, your relationships, this is how you grow you, right? If you want to grow a business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, right? That's one thing. But if you just want to be a good human, let's talk about growing you. So it doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or not. Everybody has problems, right? Everybody has life circumstances. Everybody's going through something right this minute. And so we want to talk about that. We want to talk about how are you solving your problems? How are you addressing the issues of life? How are you navigating the circumstances of life, as we call them?
Yeah, and we talk about that backpack every day when we get up and from bed and we go face the day. We put on the backpack that's got today's current life circumstances in it. You guys understand what I mean? Every day has a different set of circumstances that we wake up with that we got to deal with every single day. And it changes around. Sometimes it's health, sometimes it's spousal support, sometimes it's kids, sometimes it's finances. It doesn't matter. And it varies throughout the day. And if you have that backpack worth of life circumstances, if you have just a few, 2 or 3 little key handles hanging on to, it just helps you deal with it. But I do want to read a little bit from the book, and we have a very, very special guest here that she will share with you how this impacts people, what we do with what we call the 3-legged stool. Everything is built on the platform, and it's a very intelligent platform because it gives us the flexibility to adapt real time. And so that's been a big help for us here, especially with this changing environment. My background is network marketing, okay? I got started in network marketing long before it's called network marketing, even before it's called multi-level, okay? I got started back then. A lot of you know the story, but I'll share it with you because I think it's kind of important here. I was a long-haired hippie construction worker with no self-confidence, no self-esteem. I never finished high school in America. That's not going to this before you go to university. I didn't even finish the high school, the primary schools, because I just was too shy to give an oral book report that was required back then. Now, for some of you don't even know what an oral book report is, but you had to read a book, you had to write about the book, and then you had to walk across the stage and tell your classmates something about the book. And these were kids I grew up with, but I got to tell you something. I knew them and they knew me, but I was so shy. I just couldn't get up in front of the class to be able to do that. And after failing English, that's what it came under the thing of English as far as learning. And I flunked 2 years in a row. So I wasn't going to graduate. So I went to school. I went to work at that age of 16 in the construction field. And I got to tell you something, guys, I liked it. I loved doing what I was doing before I got involved in this because I got to work with my dad, my brothers, my cousin, my uncles, and all of that. I worked with them, and it was a big guy thing. And it never occurred to me that someone like myself with that low self-esteem, tell you the color of your shoes, but not the color of your eyes, never thought about doing anything except construction work. It was just unbelievable that someone like me would be out there making such positive changes. But it happened because of a couple things. I came to a meeting. Okay. A meeting. Okay. Now that's important here because that's the new direction that's happening in our space. Okay. And you say, well, what about COVID and all? I'm talking about a real live meeting, Zoom type of meeting that put me in an environment that I never thought was possible for me. And there were 2 very special people. And I never get tired of talking about this. And I hope you guys don't get tired of hearing it because it's important. Yeah. There were 2 people that night that I met back in the 60s. Okay. One of them was Bobby Depew, and Bobby Depew used to be a science teacher, and he had the ability to communicate with just about anybody. He's a very soft-spoken man, and he was given a meeting, okay? And he said something at the end of that meeting. By the way, I'm not going to get into the details. It's in the book, but that was the first time I went to a hotel, and that was the first time I'd ever been in a hotel in my entire life was going to that meeting. You want to talk about feeling out of place? Most people have heard about hippies, but very few of them had ever seen one. And then I come in there with my beads and my moccasins and all that deal. And so long story short, Bobby said something at the end of that meeting that has affected my life on a daily basis since then. And because I wasn't thinking about doing it. All I did was I went to that meeting so I could get to the job the next day and tell the guys I went to the hotel. And he said, listen, it's obvious that we're making money here. You can tell it. And you could tell it. When people are making money. Okay. And he says, I'd like to be able to promise you that you can make the money we're making. He said, but I can't. He said, but I can promise you this. What if, and man, that's been with me forever. What if? Think about that. All the what ifs in our life. And usually when we do think about what ifs, we think about the negative what ifs. But what about the positive what ifs? And he said, what if this turns out for you only 10% what it's turned out for us? It could be the greatest thing that ever happened to you. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The long-haired hippie construction worker couldn't accept the success. I went to the default position. I gave away 90% in my mind and my emotions and my beliefs. I can't do what they do, but maybe 10%. That's what got me pushing, thinking maybe somebody like me with all of these handicaps of education and experience and life and all that stuff, maybe someone like me could possibly do something with something like this. Just perhaps. The second thing that happened to that night was Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was a guest. And most of you know Jim Rohn out there. If you don't, I highly suggest it. Okay, get and find out about Jim Rohn. But Jim Rohn was a guest looking at the same business I was, and he and I joined the same company the same night. And both Bobby and Jim kind of took this long-haired hippie under their wings and said, hey, they saw something in me that took me years to figure out. Okay, and I can see it now in people, that they saw that little bit of extra desire in me. Okay, now the extra desire in me wasn't to make the money necessarily. The extra desire in me was to make some changes in me. For someone like me to step up to the plate and say, I'm in this arena with all these people. Okay, they saw that extra desire. They saw that little extra willingness to work, because I was always, wasn't going as well as I wanted to. And they saw, more importantly, that teachability. And they took me under their wing, and it led to the last 54 years to be able to do the things we're doing today. And I had no intentions of selling that, sharing that with you today, but I did. Okay. And so
this kind of ties into, what, I'm sorry, I'm probably
you go right ahead.
Butchering your name, Anand, from India here. I mean, you're saying this, and I've left this up here on the screen for a while, because it really does tie into everything. Because what you're talking about, the 80, 15, and 5 rule, the Thompson rule, which is what we've built our reputation on, is what we've built, is what we stand on. It is the platform. It is the foundation to every single thing that we talk about, which really is where you got that from.
Yeah,
it was,
exactly.
This story right here with Larry being the long-haired hippie construction worker, that default thinking, that default process that he went through is the Thompson rule. It really is the Thompson rule whenever you think about it, because 80% of the people that you're dealing with on a daily basis doesn't believe that they're good enough. They don't believe that they're capable. They're like Larry mindset. They're like, they default, they give away, the possibilities, but they think, what if? And that's really how, whenever we've built this community, it's with that kind of thinking in mind. For the everyday person, for anybody that has a desire, that wants to change their life. And so here's what I'm going to point out right here in this conversation: the global jobless gig economy. Right. So this is, and if, I mentioned all the countries that are here on with us here in Club Fighter. It's global. This is a universal language that we're talking about here. We're not talking about just one company. We're not talking about just one country. We're talking about a global economic reason why you have a solution to someone's problem. And so we're going to tie this into, we think about what our problems are, right? What are our problems? But here's the thing. Are we communicating? Are we helping someone else solve their problems? By what we say, by what we do, right? Are we so immersed in our own problems that we can't see outside of ourselves to be able to help, support, and give somebody else a hand up and help them solve their own problems? And this is what it comes down to: leadership. But it does tie into this whole messaging that we're talking about here. Most people don't believe they can do it.
Right.
They're like the long-haired hippie. They're like the stay-at-home mom. They just don't know. They don't know that you have a solution to their problem. But we have to be able to communicate that, right? We have to be able to give them those solutions.
Now, and when you're saying here, how would we revise the 80, 15, and 5? I would revise it in this way. It's more important now than it's ever been.
Yes.
Okay? More important right this minute than it's ever been. Most of you think that out there today that this is a job like this jobless gig that's going around the world here, that this economic problems that we have around the world. People today, listen, it's in the book. Okay, and he
might have meant review. He might have
could have said review,
not
instead of revise. That's good.
He might have meant
excellent,
use
excellent.
the word review because he is time relevant to.
And then also in India with the language different.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. Okay,
so it might not be revised.
Revise or review. Let's talk about 80, 15, and 5, guys. Okay, because that's going to lead in big time to our deep dives next week. Okay, and we have some stuff where you're not going to. Well, you will believe it, okay? And it will definitely knock your socks off. But 80, 15, and 5 is the foundation, okay? Our network marketing space, okay, has been in some form of decline over the last 5, almost 6 years, okay, because of the growth factor, because they had missed the mark on what's happening in the gig economy, okay? In the network marketing space, I'll use American numbers. There's about 7 million people, okay, in the direct sales space. In the gig space, okay, and you say, well, what's gig? You hang around this flagpole, you'll figure that out very quickly. In the gig space, there's over 70 million people, okay? And right now, those 70 million people, quite frankly, okay, are looking for COVID turned our life upside down, in my opinion, in a positive way, because they are no longer looking at themselves of that regular job that they had, where they went in and career and benefits and health, all of that stuff. They've looked at their life differently and say, maybe I can do something different. And here's the key. 80% of those people, that 70 million I mentioned in America, okay, I'll give you some global figures here in a minute. 80% of those people would pay attention and be excited about something that they could hear about, that they could possibly do, that they could earn maybe $500 to $1,500 a month on a part-time basis. They would be very happy with it. 15% of them want that a week, and 5% of them want that a day. What has happened in our space is we're talking to Lamborghini bikini. Everybody's got to go up there. That language doesn't work anymore, okay? It doesn't work like it used to work, okay? And now that's where we come in here with the Academy. That's where we come in here with our three-legged stool. And so next week, we're going to have our deep dives, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe Thursday. Might follow the next week. We'll let you know at the beginning of the week. But I will tell you this, okay? Right now, people's lives are changing around the globe because there's a different audience that's out there that will listen to you. Yes. There's a bigger audience than it's ever been. In my 54 years, there's never been an audience this big. Yes. There's never been an audience that's willing to listen to you so readily than right now. And there's never been an audience here, audience language behavior, that's ready to start with you in a fun, simple, magical way, okay? People refer to us a lot as mentors and trainers and coaches. I accept that, but we're not. That's not who we are. We are progressive individuals that take a look at the marketplace and adjust rapidly. And in today's marketplace, you have to adjust quick, because in the gig economy and what's going on in the world with technology, a day is a week is a month is a quarter's a year. What you do and where you are on January 1st, 22 is where you're going to be at the end of 22. So that's why we've come so rapidly with all these things that we have with you, with the book, okay, with the deep dives, okay, and now with the Zoom Recruiter. We're going to talk about that too.
So very simply, we're just the online upline. That's really what we are.
Good.
The online upline. That's what we are. And I'm so excited to have our guest on today, because to me, I mean, first of all, whenever I met her in one of the focus groups. She was with a large group that we were working with. She just stood out. I loved her energy. She just stood out to me because she was dancing with the music and her energy, and she just stuck in my mind. And she's been involved in our community, and I think she just really represents a huge demographic
That's being overlooked.
That's being overlooked. And so many times, everybody's, Larry talks about the Lamborghini bikini, or, the millennial or Generation X or Z or Y or whatever they're called now. I have no idea. All I know is that people are people, and you either know them or you don't. And that's all there is. I mean, if they're breathing, we're just looking for dissatisfied people. And it really doesn't matter what age group they're in. But I'm so excited to welcome our guest here to this today. So Miss Christina, how are you?
Hi, Larry. Hi, Taylor. Thank you. Hope the sound's okay.
Yes.
You're good.
Thank you so much for having me on. A different demographic, perhaps, as you say, to normal. So yes, I got the book. I got this at the end of December on recommendation from senior leaders in my organization. So that was the end of December. I started looking at the book club, I think, in the new year, and I believe it was about February when I joined the academy. So going back a little bit, but that's the truth of it. And just a little bit about myself, because I think the background is relevant here. I'm 67. I have 2 daughters and 2 grandsons. So I'm a grandma. I still horse ride. I keep my horse at home. I do tap dancing once a week. So yes, I do like to move. Those of the people that are on the call here tonight who know me know I'm first on the dance floor and I'm last off the dance floor. So there you go. Loads of energy. I love the energy. So in terms of background, I'd kind of had success in my career in terms of the jobs and the promotions. I kind of went for things. I just believed it. And I got it, and it was okay. It was good. So my career was doing okay. But do you know what? In my early 50s, I was looking for something different even back then. So I kind of left a corporate world, if you will. So that was in further education, we call it here in the UK. So if I say college, it's not university. It's kind of between school and university, that kind of level. But I was a manager and I had a big team to manage, and it was a lot about people skills and all the rest of it. And I was looking for something else, and I trained as a coach, and I did my NLP, so neuro-linguistic programming, and master practitioner. And I was doing the coaching, and that's what I wanted to do. So I left this corporate job, I left the salary, but I left the stress and all of that. But you know what? I was still really not quite getting there. Fully enough, I developed a little niche in my coaching business. Because I ride, I found there were a lot of people who had confidence issues. So as well as coaching one-to-one, I ran workshops and I wrote a book. And the reason I mentioned the book is because I had 3 keys to success. Know where you're going. So have that kind of goal, that dream, that vision, that milestone. Change the way you think and take action. So that was way back when. I knew those things and I was helping people with those things. The book was about just getting it out there to more people. I wasn't expecting to make a lot of money. That was a niche. But I got royalties. So I understood royalties. So when my coaching business wasn't bringing in the income that I needed to be financially independent, I was attracted by this idea of residual income. So I was actually looking, even back some years ago, I was looking for a way of, not just exchanging time for money, making some good income, but doing something that I loved, it had to be something I loved. I looked at lots of different things, and I chose the company that I'm with because I like the support that it gave the people and the almost a coaching element to it. So there I was looking at MLM and being attracted by this residual income. But you know what? For me, it's been quite a slow process. I kind of was doing okay with the retail, and I was not building a team. I was going to the trainings, I was going to the meetings, I was doing everything you're supposed to do. And I remember listening to our leader at one point, and I just listened to what he said, and I thought, I don't want to be average. I was sort of average in the business. And I was like, I've never been average. I don't want to be average. How can I change this? I heard about the products are the same, the marketing plan's the same. The only variable is you. Oh, was that a sort of smack in the face? It's me. What? I heard that saying from Jim Rohn, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. I heard all this and I kind of felt that I understood it, but I didn't seem to be really doing it and getting it because I wasn't really growing. The business wasn't developing. Why was I not attracting customers? More importantly, distributors. Why? Was I not hungry enough? Was my why not big enough? All these questions that I had. So I did have a better year last year, and we came to December and I bought the book. And I have to say, I read it in the Christmas holidays. And the first time reading it, you can't take everything in. You've got to go back, and I keep going back to it and I keep dipping into different chapters. So yeah, I was introduced to the book. I joined the academy, and I have to say, I think what's changed has been, I have changed my language to myself, not just how I talk to prospects or customers or members or distributors. So changing the language changes your behavior and it changes your attitude. So I thought I was quite confident. I thought I had belief in myself, and yet I was in this business for quite a while and not having the growth that other people were. And even though I told myself this is my journey, I've not to compare myself with others, there was still that thing going on about not being good enough.
Yeah.
Just as Larry says. And yeah, I even told myself things like, oh, I've got to discipline my disappointments. But telling yourself to do it and doing it, they are two different things. So going back to that's what has changed, what has the academy and the book club and everything done for me in this short time. There has been a particular way of working that I've been doing in my business that is one thing, and that has helped for sure. But it's much more about how I talk to people that's really made the difference. And you know what? I got excited again. I think Taylor, you said you see me dancing around, and I might look like a buzzy person, but yeah, I did get excited again. So I had my best month in July, and then in August, and then in September. And it was in the September, last time's book club, when I just put in best month ever. And yet, now here I am trying to sort of share my story with others. So it just shows that I know that I just need to talk to more people. I know I've not to be attached to the outcome. I love that idea of leaving them feeling good about you, about it, about them. I just love that. It really does make a difference. I've got to take massive action. I think for a number of years, I thought I was doing it. I just thought my ratios were much more than everybody else's. I had to talk to like 20, 30 people to get one, and I was kind of doing it, but maybe not enough on a consistent basis. So I love that idea of massive action. And
I want to stop you for just a minute here, Christine, because you're sharing so many little nuggets here, for the audience and for the listeners. But I want to go back to what you said originally in the first opening of your statement, and that I really want the community to really wrap their brain around, and that is the fact that whenever we're talking about what you have to offer, and whenever you talk about what we have in our space, that is not just trading hours for dollars, right? That you had an understanding from a previous business, that you understood the concept of residual income. And, and here's the thing, and I'm going to, and I might step on some toes here, but I think that piece right there is a conversation that a lot of people have negated and pushed aside. They are not, and we are in this global crisis here of people needing extra money. And what you're sharing there is the magic of what we have to offer. Not just the money, not just the 80%, the $500 to $1,000 a month, but it's that money that comes back to you and keeps coming back to you that creates a way for you to leverage your time and to create that kind of opportunity that you were looking for. And I would almost venture to say that most people, if they were looking at you, they would have prejudged you.
Yeah, I think so, because I'll be honest with you, I've reached a stage in my life where I do have a nice house with some land and my horse at home. So if you just look at that, you might say, oh, she wouldn't be interested. But, you know, I've got a daughter that lives in the USA, and I want to be able to get out there and visit her as often as I can. And that takes money, you know, so there are needs that we have, you know, there are things that we want the money for, or we want the time freedom for. So for me at this stage in my life, it's not just about time, you know, like stay-at-home mom, or, you know, that time to spend with the kids. But I want the time to spend with my grandchildren, and I want the money to have to do with them. You know, on my goals was to take my grandson from the UK and his mum and the grandson in the US and get them all in Florida for Disney. And that was before, that was on my goals before COVID. So it's still there, you know, but that takes money and time and all of that. So I have those kind of goals. So at my age, it's more about topping up my pension. You know, I'm at the other end of the spectrum, which is just how it is. And there will be people like me. There will be people like me who are older, who perhaps, you know, don't have enough coming in to do what they want to do, because, you know, life isn't easy in any country. So it doesn't matter what your why is. You know, I used to look at the young people and listen to them about what they want to do. I thought, well, that's good for them. But the demographic, there's every area to go after. And we shouldn't prejudge, and we shouldn't say, oh, that person's okay. You know, they'll be on a pension, they must be okay. No, you just don't know. So I do think we have to, approach anybody and everybody, have that conversation.
Well, and I'm so excited for you, and I really appreciate you speaking up there in the chat, you know, yesterday or last week, because, you know, for you to have been involved with the company that you had this mindset for, and how many times people have, you know, I would say buy your own press. And what I mean by that is almost kind of let yourself off the hook, saying, well, you know, it's okay, because it's not the real job description. It wasn't the truth. It's the lies kind of we tell ourselves, you know, because, oh, well, I have to talk. And you change that mind shift, and you change that behavior that you were doing that created your best month ever. For 3 months, you've had your best month ever. And it's all as a result of you. It goes back to everything. Belief determines behavior, right?
Yeah, I thought I had good beliefs. I understood that idea about having robust beliefs and how you did things so that you had evidence, and that gave you an even stronger belief and all of that. I kind of understood that as a concept, but it's taken a little while really for it to happen in my business, and I'm quite being really open and honest and sharing that with everybody. Really just to say, you know what, I think I wanted to, if you were going to ask me to finish, I was going to say my top tip is never ever quit on yourself and on other people. Just don't ever quit. You just got to keep at it, you know.
Wow. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The chat's blowing up. Everybody's like, love this, Christina. Congratulate. I mean, they're just over here like saying all sorts of nice stuff.
Let me share with you what I'm getting out of this story, okay? And what I'm getting out of this story here, being in this space here for 54 years and having distributors all over the world, et cetera, and doing billions, all of that stuff. Christina was sitting here in her company that she loves, sitting here in the products that she loves, and obviously she likes the compensation model, but she was stuck, and she was stuck in that no man's land of where do I go? How do I get customers? Do I get customers? Do I get distributors? Okay, and that's where everybody is. You know why people are going now today? Customers, okay? Because they don't know what to say to someone about being a distributor, and let's get on my products, get in my challenge, get on this, and walk them up that path. Guys, that's the 7 million pool in America. That works the same as it's always done. But there's 70 million in the gig world. There's 7 million in the United Kingdom, and the new figures are coming out. I talked to John Fleming yesterday. Wait till you hear these new figures. 40% of the people right now are in working some kind of gig. Is network marketing a gig opportunity? When I say gig, I'm talking about the new technology gig. Gig has only been defined in the Webster Dictionary since 2019. It's an independent business contractor. It's micro entrepreneurship. And we get confused in network marketing thinking we're the gods above all gods, but there's so many micro entrepreneurships out there that's competing with network marketing today. And what's happening is you take the profile that's in your organization. How many Christinas do you have in your organization right now that have hung around the flagpole, okay, and believe in you, believe in the company, believe in the products, everything is cool, but not making that breakthrough? And that breakthrough isn't Lamborghini bikini. That breakthrough is, I think I can do this. Yeah. And right now, 40% of the global workforce is looking for $500 to $1,500 a month and fun, simple, magical way. Okay, that's what it is. And if you can attract that group, guess what? They will. Then there's 15% of them will want $500 to $1,500 a week, and 5% will want $500 to $1,500 a day. It's audience, it's language and behavior, and we teach that in the academy. We teach that. We open it up to give everybody a free view here at the book club. Okay, we have the millionairetraining.com free resource center for you can take a look at. Say, wait a minute, this stuff makes sense. It makes sense because it hits every demographic group that's out there. And guys, next week, we're going to have the deep dives. We have them every month. We go to 6 to 8 hours worth of live mentoring and training every single week, every single month. And we're going to bring to you guys a Zoom recruiter. It's available. It's available in your back office right now.
So, Christina, you guys, everybody give her a big hand, give her a big applause for being here and sharing her story with everybody. So thank you so much, Christina. Guys, like this is, I mean, I love these stories, and I love that the fact that we're bringing it from so many different walks of life, from ages, from, countries, from different companies, and seeing that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She said something very important, and it's in the book. If everybody, your company, your product, we're dealing with the same thing. You're dealing with the compensation plan. The only variables in all of these equations that you're all dealing and working with always comes back to you. It always comes back to you. And so here's the thing. I put this up here for wealthbuilding.pro. That is our academy. If you haven't got involved with our academy, we keep talking about the academy. People are talking about the deep dives. We do this once a month where you get live interactive activity with your online upline, right? That as a community, we come together and we interact with you for 2 hours for the second Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday of every month. And so this is your opportunity to come in and be involved with us and be like a Christina. I mean, yes. Think about what happened with her. Like, okay, she got started with the book, right? So ABC approach, the book, then she got involved after the book, then she did the academy, and now look at her. Now she's in the club. So it's the ABC approach. But look with what happened with her story. What if it took you 6 months to whatever it took her, 6-7 months to have your best month ever. Have not only one time, but 3 times in a row to have your best month ever, can see a steady growth in what you're doing. That could be you. That could be you if the desires there, willingness. So we're here, we're the online upline. It really comes down to, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? The variable issue.
And listen, again, the power for me is how many Christinas do you have in your group? You're Christina, but how many Christinas do you have in your group? They're there waiting for you. They're there looking. They've got the talent. They got the ability. If it only works out 10% for them, look what's happening for them, okay? And here's something that's going to happen. Next week is our deep dive, okay? we're going to be talking about the Zoom Recruiter. And the Zoom Recruiter is launched officially today. For those of you that are in the academy, you can go back there and get it today. Next, and we already got focus groups working on it. We don't bring you anything that we don't work on first before we bring it to the community. And we're going to be talking about it in depth next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with you guys in the live mentoring, okay, and the live coaching that we're going to be doing back there, okay? Here's the deal. The Zoom Recruiter and the Academy now has a 7-day free trial. You go back there, you get signed up on it, and you got 7 days to try it out before the credit card is hit and any of that stuff. And if they don't like it, they just say no, and that's the end of it. But it's back there. So for those of you that have been talking to people about the Academy, get them to do it now so they can go back there, get the Zoom Recruiter so we can show you and share with you through the focus group what has happened with this new tool. Because let me tell you something. It's easier to get people to talk to today if you're talking to them about $500 or $1,500 a month versus talking to them about your products. No matter how great your products are, and you guys have great products, you've got competition. Why this protein? Why this collagen? Why this skincare? Why this hair growth? Okay, it's out there. But let me tell you something, with the Zoom Recruiter, you're talking about the gig economy that's growing exponentially, and you can get their attention and you can talk to them about opportunity. And guess what? The best distributor customers you're ever going to have, as Taylor said last week, is going to be distributors are your best customers. So when you talk to them about opportunity first, and you can because of the gig economy, guess what? You're either going to become a distributor and become a customer with you, or you got the best, fastest chance to talk to them about becoming a customer. And with the Zoom Recruiter, it's about getting eyeballs. It isn't about getting members and customers. That's your job. It's about sharing with you how to get eyeballs on your opportunity and your product line and lead with the opportunity. Oh, God, you can't lead with it. Of course you can. If you don't, look at what's happening. Look at what's going on here.
Problem solving. We have identified the problem. Now go solve it. Like this is all inclusive, guys. Guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you guys here. I'm so excited of the conversations that we're having and the people that are growing inside of our community. It is so endearing to watch these and hear these stories. And so if you haven't been on here, if you haven't shared your story, message me. I would love to be able to share your story with our entire community, because not only do you get the benefit from, remember, 1 finger pointing out, 3 coming back, but our whole entire community gets the benefit of it. And that's what we do here. So, guys,
before we go, I want you to go in your back office. I want you to get that Zoom Recruiter, get some experience with it. We dig in next week. Got a 7-day free trial. Come on. You got people you've talked to about the Academy. Get them in there. They got a 7-day free trial. Let's kick this off, because wherever you are, a day is a week is a month is a quarter, where you're going to be with your attitude, where you're going to be with your daily method of operation, and where you're going to be, yes, don't pass out on me. You're going to be sponsoring 10 new members a month, okay? And you do that for 90 days. It's in the book. I defy you to go and challenge you to go in there and see what will happen to you when that happens. It's easier to sponsor people today than to get to talk to them about that today than it is your product, because there's so much competition there. The competition isn't here yet, but it will be. Go after this thing. And let's get on this deep dive next week and dig in and see what happened. 22 is coming. Okay, where you are on January 1st, 22, with attitude, goals, desire, willingness, belief in yourself, that's going to be parlayed in the entire year. So let's go.
So guys, that's it for us today. I hope you had a great meeting with us, clubbing with us here today. I hope you have a blessed, amazing weekend. My name is Taylor Thompson.
I'm Larry Thompson.
And we're here to help you grow you.
To grow your team.
To grow your check.
To grow your company.
So that's it for us, guys. Bye-bye.
See you Tuesday on the deep dive.
Bye-bye. Bye. Mwah.